Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 15 to 2023. Now in this, let us see issues one after the other. Guys. KSLSA suggests extending rebate on traffic fines for 15 more days. Not required. IT teams survey BBC officers over violation of laws. See guys, we are all aware that BBC had a documentary about Prime Minister Modi, and they did it out of the box because after 20 years it was not required to defame a person who has got a clean chit from the Supreme Court. But still, let us assume that, they try to defame. Now, what is happening? The IT teams, they are entering into the BBC offices to check. So normally what happens, in our departments, some or the other IT issues will always be there, guys. So no one will try to be perfect. They will have some tax evasions and all. And when governments want to fight and take look into it, it's very easy because most of our chartered accountants and all, they try to use certain tax avoidance things which may look as tax evasion. See, there is difference, guys. There is something called tax avoidance, something called tax evasion. So, what is the difference between the two terms? If you see, so let me take a scenario where, I earned 1 lakh rupees and I need to pay 10,000 as the tax. Fine. So, I will not pay 10,000 and I will not show to government that I earned 1 lakh. Two things, guys. I'm not showing to the government that I earned 1 lakh and I'm not paying 10,000. Then this is called tax evasion because here I'm not telling to the government that I earned money. Second, I earned 1 lakh rupees and then government had given a rule that, let us say, if you buy a new car, then 1 lakh rupees you need not pay. I'm just giving you an example. If you buy a new car, you need not pay tax on 1 lakh rupees. Now what I'll do, my friend buys a new car. Fine. I will take bill from him, or I will ask him, please put the bill in my name. So he will put the bill in your name. Registration, everything will be his only, but bill will be in your name. So what you will do, you will take the bill and put it in your name and show to the government, sir, I took a car, so I need not pay tax because you told me if you buy a new car, don't pay tax. So this will make me, wow, very good. I need not pay the tax. So this is called as tax avoidance. So in tax avoidance, I am showing the money. I am telling to government I earned 1 lakh. But as your rule says, I am having exemption. Whereas when it comes to tax evasion, right? When it comes to tax evasion, what do we normally do? We are not telling to the government that we earned itself, right? So this is the basic difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. Fine. So BBC would have involved in something of this sort, because that's the most common thing most of the companies do, and that would be caught when they go for micro analysis of the IT department files. Wholesale inflation eased to 4.7% in January. So this is a very, very important case here. I just want you people to know. Wholesale inflation has reduced to 4.7, whereas CPI is at 6.8. Normally, guys, as wholesale price inflation reduces, CPI also reduces, but in CPI, you will have lot of vegetables and other things which increases the index value. Remember this, I repeat, if I'm talking about wholesale price index, sometimes even when wholesale price index reduces, CPI doesn't reduce because it includes food and fuel, which prices may vary significantly and not in the control of the regulatory authorities as well. So in such a scenario, issues are different. Anti-encroachment drive in Jammu Kashmir halted after center steps in. See guys, in Jammu Kashmir, earlier there was a rule that outsiders are not allowed to come and do business. Outsiders are not allowed to come and open restaurants. Outsiders are not allowed, to enter into Jammu Kashmir much. But after removal of Article 35A, today we are in a situation where the outsiders can go into Jammu Kashmir. Now, during that time when Article 35A was there, what people used to do? They normally tried to capture government land, build buildings in it, especially politicians, political party family members and all. They came and they used to capture huge acres of land. Now the state government has identified those lands. They have taken the bulldozers and they have vanished them, and they're telling that this is government land, move out. For this, some local people had objected, and they had told that during terror threats, some innocent people were made to move out of their land, and they were allotted government land. So they have shifted. So it's not wrong for them to stay there. So request was sent to the Home Ministry recently. So the Home Ministry has said that fine, look into the issue, see whether the case is genuine or not, and then come to conclusion. Fine. So that's what is happening here. Yes, there will be ropeway for Nandi Hills, which is really good. Two tigers that killed three people in Mysore captured. Normally, guys, when tigers population increases and they keep on moving outwards and enter into villages. When they enter into villages, their primary targets will be what we call as sheep, cattle, and all. But sometimes they attack human beings. They don't eat them, but they try to kill them. But if they start eating human beings, then they become man eaters. Then the issue will be much more complicated. But in this particular scenario, the issue will not be complicated much, right? Because they have killed and it has been rehabilitated now. US Air Force's Bone lands at Aero India. Guys, United States of America has one of the best bombers in that B-1B Lancer, also known as Bone. Bone is like B1, right? Bone. So this is one of the most powerful aircrafts, guys, and this can carry huge bombs, like bigger bombs it can carry. And they had participated in Aero India show. And when they come, they try to show to India so that India can purchase. Remember, India spends heavily on defense purchasing, and especially US and Russia would like to sell to India and make more money. Yes, this one is interesting. AP ranks second in internet connectivity to government schools in South India. Please use these as case studies to talk about education and other aspects. English storybooks tailored to taste of lower primary students in Kerala. Yes, in Kerala they have Hello English Kids Library series where the government has planned to introduce English reading skills at the primary students level itself, right? This will help in improving the English language ability of the students. The Adani story and the Indian neoliberalism is not required because UPSC will never ask you a question like write about Adani story. So that is not required, guys. And don't mention about Adani until and unless it is proven in the courts that what he did was wrong. Don't go by the report. Disturbing dilation. Yeah. So guys, this article is actually talking about inflation, guys. As we are all aware, inflation is very important issue. And I told you that WPI is cooling down, whereas CPI is having issues. See guys, always every month, every 15 days once, there will be news about inflation. So it's not mandatory for us to study about inflation, but we should know certain basic things. What all will you try to study? What is CPI? What is WPI? What is the base year for CPI? What is the base year for WPI? Fine. These are the things that we should focus on. And then weightage also we should see this. We should see something like headline inflation, right? Headline inflation, core inflation. These type of aspects we should focus. Shaping a more disabled friendly digital ecosystem. See guys, there are many people who cannot utilize the mobile phones, laptops, and others mainly because the apps do not have proper things for blind people to operate, or let us say someone who do not have hands, they cannot operate. So there must be some mechanisms or some systems to ensure these things. This is what they're trying to tell. In this, they have written a book, and in that book, they have identified some apps which do not have proper facilities. So they have called different app people and they are asking them to please make the apps effective to disabled people as well. So this is what the article is about, guys. And guys, fossil and time, no need to study because it is about a bill which is not yet been introduced in the government. Ladakh, a fragile region, needs autonomy. See guys, autonomy is one of the core important thing, that is independence is one of the core important thing when it comes to any region in the world, guys. Not just this, any region you take, autonomy is very very important. We cannot go back on that specific thing. Fine. So now, given this, what I'm trying to tell you, when we look at Ladakh says we were independent for thousands of years, even before Ladakh was merged with Jammu Kashmir. Now, when Ladakh was part of Jammu Kashmir, it was always controlled from Srinagar and there was no development in Ladakh. So, they always used to feel bad that we don't have independence. So, when they were given union territory, they were very happy that yes, now we have our own autonomy. Unfortunately, it became a union territory. When it became a union territory, it will come under the influence of the central government. Now everything is controlled from Delhi, rather than being controlled from union territory of Ladakh. So this is making the people of Ladakh feel we do not have actual power. Now in Ladakh, you have Kargil Autonomous District Council and you also have Ladakh Autonomous District Council or Leh Autonomous District Council. Now these two want to have their own culture. So they want a sixth schedule where their culture can be protected. But once if you give sixth schedule to them, then it is very difficult to have environmental clearances, roads, railways, infrastructure, investments. Because when big companies come and invest, let's say you need to go for solar energy, you need to take permissions. Land availability is not very easy because the power to give permissions is not under the control of the union territory, then it will go to the hands of autonomous district councils. So the central government is of the opinion that if we give autonomy to these people, then it's very difficult for us to get clearances. So this is what they are actually talking about. Education more than wealth determines women's marital age. See guys, women are married at an age less than 18 years as well, right? So this is mainly because of cultural and mindset issues and not associated with money issues. Even in rich people, they are getting their children married at a very young age. Fine. But when it comes to what we call as like you know uh, less income groups or more income groups, irrespective of less or more income groups, they are getting their children married But whenever the children are educated, women are educated, then there is a possibility that age of marriage is increasing. So it is education which is helping, not wealth. So these type of case studies you should try to write, guys. Fine. National Family Health Survey indicates that, you can write down, National Family Health Survey indicates that even when income increases, even when income increases, average age of marriage, average age of marriage has not increased. But but when education when education and empowerment of women occurs, empowerment of women occurs, then marital age increases. Next case. Army set to close around 80 deals worth rupees 15,000 crore. Guys, they are purchasing weapons, guys. In this, some weapon names are important. Advanced light helicopter, that is Helena. Helicopter mounted Nag. Yes, Nag is anti-tank missile, guys. Fine. Nag is anti-tank missiles. That means whenever you see a tank, if you send it, it will blast them, because blasting tanks require high intensity energy. Fine. At the same time, India is also trying to purchase light utility helicopters. Fine. Light utility helicopters. Larger bench must examine subversion of the 10th schedule. Is the meaning of this is 10th schedule talks about anti-defection law. Under this, if you see, speaker is the sole power to decide whether someone should be removed or someone should not be removed. In constitution, for most of the powers, there is no prescribed time limit, guys. So when you don't give time limit, it is misused. So in the case of judges as well, in the case of MPs as well, it is misused. Now this is leading to more problem. For example, let us say, there is a group of 40 MLAs. Now 12 MLAs will tell, I am shifting the party, and they will go to another party. Now they give resignation to the speaker, but speaker will not accept the resignation at all. Now he would have kept it for 2 years, right? Now let us say a person from Shiv Sena, he won an election, he went to BJP, and he is in BJP 2 years, and he was not disqualified, because if anyone shifts, they must be disqualified. Let us say he is not disqualified. So what is going to happen? He will continue to be Shiv Sena member supporting BJP because of speaker. I hope you understood. No election, nothing. For 2 years, he will be quiet. So speaker has discretionary powers, guys. And that is the problem for this purchase and other things. Operation Lotus, all these are happening mainly because of these cases. Of 19 accused of Pulwama attack, only 4 are at large. That means, guys, most of the people who had attacked during Pulwama attack has been killed, especially Jaish-e-Mohammed groups, and very few people are left is what they are trying to talk. Fine. So fortunately in Jammu Kashmir, the terrorism and militant activities are reducing. India is sending another 7 crore worth medicines to Turkey and Syria. BJP failed to keep up promises. We resolved issues despite political risks in Meghalaya. Opposition slams government for surveys on BBC offices. BJP will come back to power. Why is center against? All this is politics, guys. Yeah. In meeting with Raisi, Xi vows unswavering support. See, guys, Iran has huge oil reserves and it is core anti-US group. Remember this. Like, if you take Pakistan, which is core anti-India group, China, if it invests in Pakistan, it is clear that Pakistan will never go with India. Similarly, Iran is anti US. And if China invests in Iran, Iran will never go and join US. Because of this, to counter US, China is investing a lot of money in Iran. $400 billion, guys. $400 billion. You can see here, they're planning for such a huge investments which would help Iran improve economically. Guys, now Taiwan says that if any balloons enter into their airspace, then they will blast it. Fine. So now Taiwan is ready to blast them. Adani issues continue. So these were some of the issues, guys. Thank you.